Okay, so for this video, let's create a square file. We're going to be using the Radial Symmetry drawing assist, so we want to make sure that we have a square. And we're going to zoom out a little bit so we can see the full square and go into our actions. Select the canvas tools on the top and go to our drawing guide, edit our drawing guide, and we'll go to our symmetry. So remember, symmetry is any time that something is reflected on both sides. And there's a few options. If you go to that options tab at the bottom, there's vertical symmetry, and that's where the line of symmetry is in the middle, up and down like this. Horizontal symmetry, which is where the line of reflection is left and right, like a horizon line. There's quadrant symmetry, where whatever you draw will be reflected in all four of the quadrants. And then there's radial symmetry. So radial symmetry will will basically recreate what you do in every different section here that we have. So there's 8 different sections. And for our snowflake drawing, we used symmetry that would reflect. So let's do a little example. The default when you do radial symmetry is when you draw something in one square. Let's get a different brush here. When you draw something in one square, it reflects it. So it's going to reflect it back and forth like this. It's a little bit confusing to show that, but it'll reflect over the line of symmetry. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of symmetry. It will reflect each of these patterns over all 4 of those lines of symmetry. So everything is reflected on both sides here, if that makes sense. Then there's another option when you choose your canvas tools and you go to your drawing assist, symmetry options, called rotational symmetry. So when you turn rotational symmetry on, that will just recreate everything in a circle. So this is kind of cool to create these more organic rounded shapes that are the same in all 8 of these quadrants, instead of just reflected over those 4 lines of symmetry. So you choose, just play around with what with which effects that you like. I'm going to try with rotational symmetry. So again, that's in the drawing guide, edit drawing guide, symmetry, options, and you want to make sure that assisted drawing is toggled on, and if you want to try rotational symmetry, then that should also be toggled on. Now, this is basically a free assignment, but we're calling it mindful illustration. So for this illustration, we're using the kind of relaxing, calming effects of radial symmetry on the on Procreate, because it can be kind of hypnotic and relaxing while you're drawing with these colors or with these drawing assists. So really just explore. We're creating whatever designs we want, and these are all just radial patterns. So I'm going to choose, I want something that's kind of like natural. Let's choose I like the blotchy calligraphy brush because it's kind of like it bleeds into the paper. And then you can create your own palette of colors that you want to go together, or you can just select colors that you like on the color wheel. When we did our snowflake, we started at the middle and worked our way out. You can do it like that for this way as well, or you can really start anywhere and explore what effects that has. The blotchy brush is nice at a bigger size, I think, so test it out, see what you like, but I like it at the bigger size because you can kind of layer these lines around. And then explore with different colors, see what happens when they overlap, and see what different kind of lines and patterns you can create. Maybe you want some thicker lines and some thin lines to see what effects that creates. But really, I just want you to play around and explore these colors and patterns mindfully. So try something new and really observe the effects that it has. Try out different size brushes, layer the colors, maybe create a palette and see how all these colors interact. And when you're finished with one, just like we did yesterday, or just like we did with the snowflakes, you can hide one layer and create another layer. So if you kind of like what you created but you still want to try something new, then you can create another layer. Just make sure that the drawing assist is also on that layer, like that. And then explore those layers, whatever you create. See what different color combinations create and how that feels for you. And just take this time to relax and draw and see these kind of magical, beautiful designs appear. When you're finished, upload your favorite designs onto Google Classroom. You can also see what they look like layered together. But that's it for today. So explore those first, and then you can do open radial symmetry designs.